Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Corner, or welcome if you're new to my channel. Either way, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my great horror content coming up. It would help me out. So today we're going to take a look at a 1981 horror movie that we're going to review as part of my overall 1980s horror movie series. And this movie is from my Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray collection, and that movie is Don't Go in the Woods. Alone. No, I think it's actually just Don't Go in the Woods. It's the alone part's more of a tagline, although it does use that too at certain when you look up the movie in certain places. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna call it Don't Go in the Woods though from 1981. So yeah, first time watch for me. Let's go ahead and get into it. So Don't Go in the Woods, also known as Don't Go in the Woods, Alone, is a 1981 American slasher film directed by James Bryan and written by Garth Eliason. The film follows four campers confronted by a murderous woodsman slaying hikers on a wooded mountainside. It is one of the infamous video nasties banned in the United Kingdom in the 1980s. So it opens with a frightened woman who's running down a small stream when an unseen assailant murders her. Soon after, a bird watcher is also murdered. Meanwhile, four friends, Peter, Joanne, Ingrid, and Craig, are trekking through the wilderness. Unbeknownst to them, another tourist gets thrown over a waterfall, landing near some oblivious frolickers, and his mother is wounded and dragged away. The four backpackers set up camp for the night. Elsewhere, a pair of honeymooners named Dick and Cherry are attacked. Dick is murdered when he exits the van to investigate a noise. Cherry, now paranoid, arms herself with a small bust. The killer throws Dick's body against one of the windows and starts to rock the van back and forth, tumbling it down a small hill where it catches on fire and Cherry still inside. The next day, the two couples continue their hike. Meanwhile, the killer stabs an artist painting a scenic view to death and kidnaps her young daughter. So yeah, that's kind of the setup, the premise, the beginning of Don't Go in the Woods. As far as the cast goes, we have Jack McClelland as Peter, Mary Gale Arts as Ingrid, James P. Hayden as Craig, Angie Brown as Joanne, Ken Carter as the sheriff, and David Barth as Deputy Benz. So yeah, that's the setup, the premise, and the cast for the 1981 slasher movie Don't Go in the Woods. Um, this movie, this is one of those movies that you put on with some buddies that come over and a 12 pack of beer on a Saturday night or something. And you have a good time laughing at it and being entertained by how bad it is. It's not a well-made movie. However, it's not a boring movie necessarily. And I did find some entertainment value in it. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Starting with the things that I liked about Don't Go in the Woods. Alone. I really like the setting. I think they shot this movie in Utah on the mountainside, and that really worked for me, both in terms of some of the nature visual scenes, being on this mountainside, having a real woods here, which is a woods that I could relate to that I grew up near. Really good views. It definitely adds some realism and authenticity to the movie. So yeah, I really like the setting where it takes place, where they actually went um, on location in this Utah Valley basically and shot this movie. So that was one thing that really stuck out to me that I liked. There are a lot of kills in this movie. There's a lot of problems with this movie, but lack of kills is not one of them. I think there's about 15 kills or so. I've heard different numbers, anywhere from 13 to 16 official kills in this movie. I didn't take the time to count, but I'm going to go with 15. Um, so if you're just looking to put on something that's, just somebody murdering people and seeing kills on, well, not necessarily on screen, but you want to see a lot of kills in a slasher movie, then I think you'll probably like this movie because that's really the bulk of what this movie is murders or kills. So yeah, definitely a lot of kills, and they're fairly well spread out, I'll say, throughout the movie. You get a lot at the beginning. I think what did they say, like six or like eight or nine in the first half hour or so. Fifth and about 15 total, as I said, with a lot of blood effects to go with them. So there's no lack of kills here at all. And I will say the blood is kind of that it's kind of that bright red melted crayon sort of blood at times. It doesn't really hold up. It's not very realistic. Obviously, they didn't have Tom Savini, who knows the formula to make real looking blood, but or anybody like that. But there is a lot of blood. It's not necessarily a lot of gore in terms of body parts and things, but there's a lot of blood to go along with a lot of kills in this movie. So if that's what you're looking for, it's here. The movie, the best thing about, well, not the best thing, but the movie doesn't take itself too seriously from what I can tell watching it anyway. It kind of knows what it is and it has fun with what it's doing here. It doesn't pretend to be anything more than a vehicle to see people get killed, uh, for slasher kills within the slasher template that it uses. So, I mean, at least it doesn't try to take itself too seriously. Not all the humor that it goes for works. I actually found the movie more humorous from the parts I don't think they intended to be humorous, which I have a feeling a lot of other people can probably relate to watching this movie. But like I said, it's good that it knows what it is and it doesn't try to be anything else. There is a lot of fun to be had watching this movie overall. So many things to laugh at, from the bizarre music and score throughout, which is very up and down, very all over the place, to the acting, to the dialogue that's audio dubbing that takes place, to the kills and the overall look and sound of the killer and the noises he makes. There's just a lot to really laugh at and be entertained by. It's so bad it's good kind of way. Um, And then my final pros, I'll say, the movie is, for not being well made, and being so bad, it's good. It's only 82 minutes long, so you're not putting a big time commitment into this movie. It's an hour and 22 minutes basically, and that's probably with credits. I think it is. So yeah, those are my pros for Don't Go in the Woods from 1981. As far as cons go, the writing is terrible here. It's one of the worst written slasher movies, and that's saying something because a lot of slasher movies aren't that well written, but this one is extremely bad, both in terms of not having any real story or plot to carry us through, in terms of um, and carry us through the movie, any sort of plot points or twists or anything like that, and in terms of the dialogue between the characters, it's quite atrocious as far as the writing goes in this movie. Um, Only thing to match it is how terrible the acting is in this movie, and again, a lot of slashers from this time period, the acting isn't great. But man, in this movie, I don't know. Maybe it was just the mood I was in, but I could, as soon as these characters started talking or doing anything, it's like, where did they find these people? Were they just like friends or family members of the producers and the director of this movie? Because they didn't even come across as professional actors in any way, shape, or form here. The acting's just so bad. It doesn't come across like real actors. I don't know what the deal was there, but the writing and the acting are the two worst things about the movie. There's literally no story here. I mean, it's basically, you have this wild woodsman that's dressed very cheaply looking, doesn't look particularly scary or frightening, that's just killing random people that come into these woods here. That's really all this movie is. And like I said, a lot of people, that if you're just looking for that, you just want to put something on like that, then this is the movie for you. But there's nothing cohesive that gives us any kind of through line here. You're just watching random people get killed, basically. And when I say random people, you could even say the four hikers are random, but you get like there's 10 or 12 other people that just pop up in this movie that just happen to be in these woods. No explanation, nothing about these characters. We don't even know their names, but they're just there to be killed. They're the ultimate stock kill fodder for this movie. I also thought the directing was really lacking in this movie, and it's not a very well shot movie as far as the camera work goes, especially given the background and the setting that they have, this template that they have with the setting. The camera work is shaky, both figuratively and literally. So yeah, not an overly great well shot movie. And then again, it just cuts back and forth to random no name people getting killed, back to our main group that's basically just setting up camp, starting a campfire, getting up in the morning, walking, setting up another camp, and then we cut to some other random people that we don't know anything about getting killed. So yeah, I don't know, guys. It's the ultimate so bad it's good kind of slasher movie from 1981. I I kind of I have a hard time even calling it a slasher movie because even the Friday the 13th movies have more going on in terms of the story. But again, it is what it is. Don't go in the woods alone. I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Um, I'm not really sure why I'm giving it a 5.5, other than the fact, like I said, it is one of those movies you put on with some buddies and a 12 pack of beer on a Friday night, and just laugh at, have fun with. That's what this movie is. Enjoy some of the kills and the blood gore, not gore, blood, having to do with the kills. Although I will say a couple of the kills are off screen as well. So it's not like they're all on screen kills. There's a couple I enjoyed having to do with a bear trap that swings into somebody's head, as well as an artist who's painting like a canvas that gets killed. And then I even laugh pretty good when the killer himself gets killed at the very end. Just the whole look of that. So 5.5 out of 10 for Don't Go in the Woods Alone. Dot, dot, dot. No. Go ahead and comment down below if you guys have seen this movie, what you think of it. Do you like it more or less? It sounds like it's a pretty, well, not a polarizing movie, but there's definitely a group of people. It's a cult classic for a lot of people. I think because of, obviously I didn't mention this, but this was literally made for $1.75. $150,000 was the budget. I think that's also why I'm giving it a 5.5. I tend to try to be a little bit more forgiving on movies that have such a low budget. Even for 1980, that was a low budget. Obviously, it is today. And I think some people appreciate that more than others. If you're somebody that goes into this movie wanting a storyline and plot twists and elements and developed characters and background, you're going to give this movie maybe a 1 out of 10. You kind of have to know what it is going into it. A lot of people call this the worst slasher movie of all time. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's good, but I think that I can understand why some people like this movie and appreciate it on certain levels. So, like I said, please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming horror content, including continuous reviews for 1981 here. This is part of my overall 1980s horror series. But with that being said, I hope you guys are enjoying these reviews. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay scared. Bye.